everybody. Welcome to Score to Live. Michael Swisher with Coach John Hardaway of the Cashin Wildcats as we come to you from State Fair Arena after the first day of the Class 2A, 3A, 4A state basketball tournaments. This video is going to center on the Class 3A teams, and let's go ahead and coach and start with the girls' bracket. And this is another one of those brackets where we had an undefeated team coming in. We don't have any undefeated teams coming out after the first day, as Comanche all over Hartshorn, who was undefeated, coming in at 26-0. Comanche wins 52-33. Comanche kind of one of those surprise teams, in the last couple of years, but here they are back in the semifinals at 27-2, and they kind of got that difference maker in Misty Dawsey.
Yeah, no doubt. And when you're bringing 6'5" to the state tournament, that's a difference maker. That's something that a lot of people, heck, hardly anybody's going to see in girls basketball. Right. A 6'5" post player that can play, and I'm sure that she posed lots of problems for Hartshorn today. And Comanche moves on, and like I said, it'll be interesting to see Misty back here in the fairgrounds in the semifinals.
Comanche, I think, was the team last year that knocked off Adair in the semifinals before Sequoia Tahlequah beat them in the finals. Now they're going to get their rematch with Sequoia, and that was a 67-40 game last year in the championship, all Sequoia. But they're going to get their rematch as Sequoia Tahlequah beat Kansas 59-48 to advance the semifinals. So it'll be the defending champs against number 4 Comanche at 7:30 p.m. here at State Fair Arena. And Lexi Keys, last year's state tournament MVP, I believe, but Sequoia Tahlequah was bringing a lot of talent back. We thought that they'd have a really good chance to get back here, and here they are.
Fun group to watch play, get up down the floor, shoot the three, pass it so well. They're so quick. It just becomes, when it was Comanche and Sequoia last year playing, it was just, which style was going to win out. And last year's state championship game, Sequoia just really jumped on them early and really just kind of coasted the rest of the way in the final. So it'll be interesting to see, if Comanche can come out here and establish the post inside and use that height advantage and get the game kind of swung back in their favor, which can happen. When you have these rematches, you learn from the first one and make adjustments, and it'll be a very interesting matchup between Sequoia and Comanche tomorrow.
I've written a lot of stories from this arena, about a team winning it all who avenges a loss from the year before. So we'll see if that can happen tomorrow, Friday, at State Fair Arena at 7:30 p.m. Number 1 Adair still in the mix as Adair defeated Holland Hall 61-56. Gabby Gregory wasn't enough for Holland Hall to pull off the upset. As number 1 Adair improves to 25-2. Adair will play at 9 p.m. here, the final game at State Fair Arena, as it will take on number 11 Kingston. Kind of one of the surprise teams, as Kingston knocked off number 3 Prague 61-52. And you talk about a good defensive effort. Shantae Embry was held to just 9 points in that loss. She did have 11 rebounds, but she's kind of one of those 6'3" freshmen that's got a lot of national attention, but it wasn't enough for her to pull Prague through today.
Yeah, the top half of that bracket in 3A girls, you probably have the 2 best individual players maybe in the class in 3A girls, and Embry and Gregory, and both those teams were on the losing side today. I'm interested to see Kingston tomorrow, like I say, coming in as the 11th ranked team, but sometimes teams get in here and they get on a roll, they start playing well, playing with confidence. But Adair's Adair, it seems like. They're going to be there in the semifinals, the finals, the Mean Green Machines, and here doing what they do really well a lot of the time. So it'll be an interesting matchup with Adair and Kingston there in the semifinals in 3A girls.
Adair's still pretty upset from last year not getting into the finals, so we'll see. We'll see if Kingston can make it 2 years in a row for that exit for Adair and be the surprise finalist, or if it's going to be the Lady Warriors in the finals. Again, that is at 9 p.m. here at State Fair Arena, Adair against Kingston. That is going to be preceded at 7:30 p.m. by Comanche and Sequoia Tahlequah. Are you going to go with the rubber match between Adair and Sequoia Tahlequah in the finals? They've split this year so far.
Yeah, I would think so. I'd have to go with Adair at the top against Kingston, and then Sequoia. Just based off the game I saw last year, I think Sequoia just too many weapons. It's just pace of play and things like that. But like I said, we get proven wrong all the time. We start making picks and selections and predictions, and they come out here and can make us look really bad sometimes.
Speak for yourself. Let's go down now to the 3A boys bracket. Number 1 Kingston has advanced to the semifinals. It will play number 7 Hugo at 1:30 p.m. here at State Fair Arena. Kingston beat Sperry 67-45. Jace Pratt, of course, Sperry got his team, defeated Millwood in the area consolation bracket, but wasn't enough to overcome Kingston with big Jacob Germany, 6'11". You talk about something not a lot of people see or have, is 6'11", and Germany's one of those weapons.
And he's the thing, 6'11" and can play. I mean, we saw him the last 2 summers at camp. And they've got pieces around him too. It's not just him in the middle at 6'11", but I mean he can really move. Does a great job defensively. I mean Taylor Weaver does a great job coaching those guys. I mean they're going to make it really hard for anybody to score on Kingston in the half court. So if a team can get up and down a little bit, maybe it could give them some ammunition to beat Kingston type. But I think Kingston with Germany inside, it's going to be really difficult for a lot of people to handle.
Speaking of tough to score, Hugo made it very much so for Sequoia Tahlequah in a game that just wrapped up over at Mustang, as Hugo knocked off Sequoia Tahlequah 39-36. So it's going to be the Buffaloes against Kingston here at 1:30 p.m. here at State Fairgrounds. On the bottom half of the bracket, the first game of the day saw Mount St. Mary knock off Hennessy 60-52 in that one. That was a game that I got to watch, and that was a contest where Hennessy, after Mount St. Mary scored the first 2 points of the game, Hennessy rattled off 14 straight, led 27-12 midway through the second quarter, and then Mount St. Mary finally kind of started to get its offense on track, and Hennessy just wasn't a whole lot that they could do. I think it was about a 23-4 run over the second and third periods for Mount St. Mary as they prevailed in that one, 60-52. So the Rockets will play number 3 Star Spencer, who had the second game of the day over there, as they defeated Idabel 68-54. But that you talk about the potential for a fun game. 9 a.m. breakfast at the Big House. Not a lot of people want to be here, but that might be one you want to be here for. Mount St. Mary against Star Spencer could be a really fun semifinal game.
Yeah, absolutely. That Hennessy Mount St. Mary's game, that's just one of those really tough first-round matchup games that happens sometimes in the fairgrounds. Not at the fairgrounds, but in the state tournament. But yeah, no doubt Mount St. Mary's Star Spencer should be spectators' delight. If you can get your breakfast in early, go to the donut shops, coffee shops, whatever, get your coffee and get here at 9 a.m., you'll get treated to some really good, fast-paced basketball between those two teams for sure.
And I think Hugo was the team that knocked off Mount St. Mary in the area championship game. So, Hugo's still riding that momentum, and spectators' delight, man. That could be a T-shirt. You need to write that down and come up with that one. But a couple fun semifinals, and some teams that Kingston and Hugo probably fairly familiar with one another, playing at 1:30 p.m. and then, as I said, breakfast at the Big House, 9 a.m. Mount St. Mary Star Spencer. And who's going to be playing in the finals?
I'm going to have to go with Kingston. I'm very familiar with them the last 2 summers, and Coach Weaver and their kids. I mean, they've been number 1 all year long, I believe, from the very beginning. I have to pick Kingston in that one. And it's just, I don't know who picks against Star Spencer in the fairgrounds. So I'm going to have to go with Star Spencer in a slight, 3-2 upset, but not much, in what should be a really competitive game there at 9 o'clock in the morning.
Of course, Star last year's runner-up to Douglas, which didn't get to the state tournament this year. Douglas moved back up to 4A and couldn't get out of the regional, but Star right back here in the mix in the Big House. That's going to do it for the Class 3A wrap-up. We hope you can join us at the Big House for these games, but if not, be sure to download the Squirtle app and keep up with these games and all the others. So be sure to join us here. If not, use your app. Thanks for joining us.